Welcome. I'm Ed the Antiquarian. Behind me, you see Mount Helicon in Greece. Amidst its glades and springs, danced and sang the Muses, the 9 goddesses who inspired ancient Greek creativity. Now, according to Pausanias, a 2nd century travel writer, in his time, there was a sanctuary there to the Muses with temples, statues, and sacred springs. And every 4th year, they had a great festival to honor the Muses. And today, I'd like to tell you about the Muses. Zeus, coupled with mnemosyne, memory, to produce the 9 Muses you see here. The nymphs or goddesses who inspired creativity all the way from epic poets through artists to scientists. They're all there. And here are their names and the areas that they were especially responsible for in inspiring poets and writers and artists and musicians, all except one. I'm going to reserve one for a little later, Clio, the muse of history. Sing in me, muse, and through me tell the story. That was the inspiration to Homer to write the story of Odysseus, his beautiful, exciting adventure tale of the Odyssey. And later on, we hear from Hesiod, the poet who dealt with the gods and the myths surrounding the gods. From the Helicon Muses, let us begin to sing and hold the great and holy Mount Helicon and dance on soft feet about the deep blue spring and the altar of the almighty son of Cronus, meaning Zeus. So here we have a painting on a pot, an amphora, of a poet who is singing his epic poem, the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Theogony, the Working Days, or a lyric poet for that matter. And the Muses inspired the foundation of the Library of Alexandria and the associated museum. And we are the beneficiaries of that idea that there should be institutions where the heritage of a culture, of a society, are collected and treasured. And we have them today in the Vatican Museum, the British Museum, the Louvre. And if you've been through all 3 of those museums, you pretty much have covered the cultural heritage of Western civilization from its beginnings, at least to the time of the Renaissance. Now, let's return to the 9th muse, Leo, the proclaimer, the muse of history. She is to inspire a recollection of things past, of things done today, and perhaps a peek into our future. So it was important that the past not be forgotten, not be ignored. Listen to Herodotus, Clio, the muse of Historia, that is inquiry or history, has shown me the way to tell the tale. The stories must be remembered, the great stories that inspire our civilization. This is a display of the Historia of Herodotus of Halicarnassus, so that things done by man not to be forgotten in time. And that was the inspiration from Clio, to remember the past, not just of Greeks, but in the case of this particular work, the histories of Herodotus, the heroic efforts of the Persians too. Clio is still at work, has been since the time of the fall of antiquity, through the Middle Ages, up to the Renaissance, down through the modern period. Clio has stayed with us, trying to remind us of what past events, what past people, what past institutions have brought us to the point where we are today. This is a very interesting statue, large statue in what is now the Statuary Hall in Washington, D.C. It was the original House of Representatives for our country. And this particular statue, called the Car of History, is of Clio, in her chariot, flying through time, because that's what Clio does. She is trying to remind us of remind especially the representatives of the congressional districts that gathered in Washington, to keep an eye on the past, to remember the foundations of their country. John Quincy Adams, who was president, but more importantly, I think, was a member of the House of Representatives for, some 16 or 18 years. He wrote a sonnet to this statue of Clio. O Muse historic, in thy march sublime, still urging onward on the wheels of time, canst thou not whisper to the chosen band, that is the House of Representatives, but for one day to calm their senseless rage, and let thy volume bear one blessed page of deeds devoted to their native land? That sonnet, that poem, is applicable to the House of Representatives, to the United States government in total today, as it was 200 years ago. Well, thanks for watching. Enjoy your history. Follow Clio wherever she leads. And please return here at your convenience to see what new videos have been posted for your lifelong learning experience. Thanks again.